right, just got dropped off here on the trail at Highway 27 right there yesterday. That's that little parking area yesterday where I was at, back in there waiting, and had a nice night there. Very interesting place. Where am I heading? Bigelow Mountain, Avery Peak, the first mountains, the first peak of Bigelow. So Bigelow's what I'm going to be doing all day. 8.4 miles to the first peak. Anyway, very interesting place, the Hostel of Maine. I'm not going to go way into it because I'm going to have to start climbing here real fast, but really beautiful place and very clean. It's not, this is not a place where you carve your name into the bottom of the bunk you're sleeping in and stuff. I mean, it's like a, like a quality lodge hotel type place. And anyway, it kind of attracts that kind of people as well. So maybe a slightly older crowd was there, but it was great. It was just so relaxing and so easy and so nice, and they had everything that you need, and it was wonderful. So thank you all for that. Wow. So I'm going to be climbing a lot today. Got my leg taped up again. I heard my Achilles, I kind of taped a sock into the bottom there to give me a little lift on that heel. So hopefully I won't lose that sock. And I retaped my Achilles just a little bit lower than where it like pulled the skin off. You can kind of maybe see I just taped it a little lower down there. So I don't know how great that's going to be, but it'll be good enough, I believe. It feels really pretty good. I think having it taped for the last couple of days has just taken the pressure off of that tendon, and it's allowed it to it's really healed up a lot. Even not having any tape on it last night, just walking around, it felt pretty good. So if I can take it easy on it, hopefully I won't re-injure it too quickly today. What else? 2 days. I got 2 days to get to Caratunk. I've got to get to Caratunk early, like by 2 or 3 o'clock, to get my box while the post office is open in 2 days. So that's where I'm heading. Then I'll have a few days to Monson, Maine. And that is where I will get off and stay probably at Shaw's Hiker Hostel and resupply there. They have a whole bunch of resupply, so it'll be a lot like this situation. I won't be taking a zero or anything. They'll just pick me up. I'll go in. They have a whole bunch of supplies, so I'll buy some food and stuff. I'll stay the night. They'll drop me back on the trail. And then that'll be my final push through the 100-mile wilderness. I will go all the way to Katahdin from there. So things are coming down to the wire here. And it's exciting. I don't know, there's probably not anything else to say. I feel like there's all this stuff inside of me, but really there's nothing to say. It's just have to get going and just finish this thing up. So I'm gonna see today, they've been calling for rain. We'll see what happens. So I may get some good views from the top of Bigelow, the Bigelows, and I may not. I'll let you know. Well, I looked at my guide and I've forgotten I've got a couple miles of pretty level terrain before I really start climbing this morning. So that's a good warm up. It's also good because even though I feel really good, I feel a little sluggish because I ate so much. There's not stuff close to the Hostel of Maine that you can go to really, restaurants or things, but they do have a restaurant that you can order out and they'll go pick it up. And so I did that last night, and I have to say I was not too impressed, especially for what it cost, but it was still good. I mean, it's better than eating trail food by far. But then this morning they had a bunch of fresh fruit out and hard-boiled eggs and bagels and cream cheese and toast and cereal, and they even had some oat milk so that I could eat some cereal too, which was awesome. And then the lady that was kind of organizing it all had made some fresh muffins. So I pretty much ate all that stuff. And my pack is feeling a little tight on my belly right now. But I think that'll go away within these 2 miles. The clouds are descending on the mountain really quickly. That's where I'm heading, so I imagine I'll be enveloped soon enough. I'm taking a lot of pictures up here, and I hope they can give you a tiny sense of what this area is like. It is like nothing else that I've been in up to this point on the trail. It's really amazing. I mean, there are these huge boulders, of course, you can see, and just big rock formations. Many of them covered in moss, which is really interesting. It's just how it makes it look, how it makes the landscape kind of blend together. And yet, although there are so many rocks, they've managed to find a ground trail through this. So first of all, you're not just running around on top of rocks, but secondly, you kind of these little caverns, periodically these little tunnels and between the rocks, and wow, it's just a really fantastic, beautiful area. And I would guess that the fact that it's a little bit fogged in is kind of adding to the effect. Well, these are going to be the views today, probably. Beautiful, but very fogged up. Coming up to one of the shelters that they call lean-tos in Maine. You can see Katahdin from, if the final destination here, if if it's a clear day. So as I already said, these are the Bigelows here, the Bigelow Mountains, and that was the West Peak at 4,150 feet, and I'm now descending just a little, and then I will ascend again to Avery Peak, which is around, I think it's 4,050 feet, and then that will be the last 4,000 foot peak that I will be on on the Appalachian Trail. That's it. There are no more along here, and things will get a little lower and things will get a little easier, and there won't be as much climbing and stuff like that. So it's kind of a big milestone once you get past the Bigelows. Once you get down from Avery Peak, or you're heading down from Avery Peak, then it's like, you know, sort of another thing that makes you kind of feel like the beginning of the end of the trail. So, whoa, I'm almost there. If I fall off here, it's going to be the real end. All right. All right, that was Avery Peak at 4,088 feet. And since I was up there, I've probably dropped about 88 feet. I mean, it's real close. So I'm probably pulling under 4,000 feet right now. I will very quickly head down to about 2,300 feet, and then, click along and, relatively level for a little while. Never go above probably 3,000 feet today. And then later today, I will even get down to like the, 1,200, 1,100 foot mark, and I'll be kind of just up and down right around there for quite a long time. For sure the whole rest of today and most of tomorrow. So, yeah, things are about ready to change on the trail. It's a pretty cool ending, actually, there are supposed to be incredible views up here, but in a way, it's kind of fitting, it's kind of, really blustery up here. A little cold, but not bad. You can see I'm still in short sleeves and stuff. If I just sat up here for hours, I'd probably get cold, but it's not bad. Obviously a little wet, foggy, and very windy, and just, ouch. Sorry, gotta pay attention. And just, I don't know, kind of a good send-off, like, hey, this is how it gets. This is how it can be. This is how it's been a lot of the time. It's about to get a little simpler, a little easier, and yeah, I like being reminded of this. All right, so that was awesome. That guy that was walking away, his trail name out here is Tomorrow. And when I was taking my zero, kind of have goosebumps right now. When I was taking my zero at the Bear Mountain Lodge, Bear Mountain Bridge Motel in New York, he was staying in one of the rooms there too. There were only like 4 rooms, it's this little motel. And we were talking, and we never hiked together or anything, but he was hiking on the AT, and he was just doing a shakedown hike, which just means going out, trying his gear, just making sure, everything works, whatever, just testing out and making sure he feels okay and all that. And he was going to do a couple more shakedown hikes over the course of, the next, whatever it was, 3-4 weeks, I don't even know. But then he was going to go up to Katahdin, and you can tell I can't breathe at all going up this thing. Anyway, long story short, he was going to go to Katahdin and start a southbound full AT hike. So we talked at the motel about, hey, sounds like, the dates will work out so that if, one of us doesn't happen to be off the trail or something like that, we're probably going to cross paths on the trail. So, that was, I don't even know what that was, 5 weeks ago? something like that. And so there he was. We're walking along, and he goes, "Hey, I know you from," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he said his name. I'm like, "Yes," and we started putting it all together and talking, and he's the nicest guy. You know, too bad we're not hiking the same direction and crossing paths over time, you know. But anyway, he's really just starting his hike. You know, I've got whatever I've got. We were trying to figure it out, maybe around 180 miles left. I mean, he's only done 180 miles of the whole almost 2,200 mile trail. And, you know, he's all excited because he's just getting started. I'm all excited because I'm just finishing. I'm all excited for him. He's all excited for me. And we just sat there and talked for a long time, and kind of like old friends, you know. Just what a nice guy. So very cool. Hopefully you can figure out a way to follow him. He doesn't really do too much social media, just like I don't. But maybe I can. He gave me a couple things I can look at, and maybe I can keep track of him, see how he's doing out here. So neat stuff. Love this community out here. This is Flagstaff Lake. I think maybe East Flagstaff Lake. Really a gorgeous lake, and there's a, it's big. There was a campground right around here I thought about staying at, but the timing with everything, I can't remember if I mentioned it on here or not, but tomorrow I come across a river called the Kennebec River, and the only way to get across that river is to take, there's a guy with a little canoe who does a little ferry service there, and that's literally how the AT works, is you take that ferry service across, and you don't have to pay him or anything, but it only runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then right when I get across is where Caratunk is, where my post office box is. I have to get between 2 and 4 p.m. So like, if I get right up to the river and I don't get across tomorrow, then I basically waste a whole day until I can get into the post office the next day at 2 p.m. So blah blah blah. I've got to get across that river tomorrow before 2 p.m. or I waste a whole day. So I've got to get a little further. If I stay at that lake campground, I will have to hike 19 miles tomorrow. Even though it's pretty easy terrain, I have to hike 19 miles before 2 o'clock to get across there. And I actually think I might be able to make it, but it's too risky. So, oh, look at these nice little camp areas. Be nice to set up there right now. But anyway, so I'm just going to go a little further. I don't know how much, however far I can go. There's another lean-to shelter in like 5 miles, but I've got to go up and down 2 little mountains. I don't know if I have it in me, but I'm just going to go as far as I can go. Let's see. All right, I'm going to get to it. All right, well, I got a few more miles in, and I think I'm about 17 miles from the river crossing tomorrow that I have to get to before 2 p.m. before the ferry, you know, the canoe guy stops running. So anyway, I think if I get up early and I go, you know, the terrain's supposed to be pretty good after this first mountain I have to do, and then it should be all good. So anyway, I'm about 17 miles away, and there's a lean-to shelter a few more miles, but man, it's getting late and dark, and I know this phone always brightens everything up, but I mean, it's like behind me, I can see on the phone it looks really bright, but it's not. It's getting pretty dark right now. And so I was sitting here kind of working on my leg, like taking the tape off and everything, and just doing a few things, getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden I hear some tromping around. I'm thinking, oh, it's an animal or something, but no. Up the trail comes Kriegus. I know I haven't talked a bunch about him, but I'm pretty certain I've mentioned him in these videos at least once or twice. He's that 19-year-old kid, just really nice kid, and just young, acts young in some ways, but is just so cool. I mean, he's just a great guy, and he comes tromping up here, and he's just one of those few people that I just keep crossing paths with over and over and over. He's one of the people that walked into, he walked into Mills Market when I was in Andover. That's the place where I got all the food and everything, when I was staying at Pine Ellis Hostel. Anyway, and I mean, I've crossed paths with him on the trail 10 times, and we don't see each other for several days, and then all of a sudden we show up in the same shelter, or he walks by on the trail like this or something. So pretty cool. He can do some really big miles, and now that it's getting to be the end, he was just now talking about wanting to do a lot of miles. And so, I don't know whether, I kind of doubt I'll keep up with him. He might be gone now. It might be the last time I see him, but it's just cool to see him. So anyway, all right, well, I got to get my bag is right there, my bear bag. I've got to just get brush my teeth, throw a few things in there, and get that thing hung and get to bed. Good night.